Pleasant journey isn't very far. We can go together, stay right where you are. Now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart. And now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart.
Good morning and welcome. Once a year, we welcome our new members. They have long signed the membership book, but we have a ceremony to officially welcome them into our beloved community. And of course, there was COVID for the last couple of years, and we weren't here in person, so we collected all of our members. And today, we are welcoming officially. So thank you for coming, and thank you for also coming to support them. And you are all holding a lit candle. And that candle symbolizes that truth-seeking nature of ours. And it is with this light that we invite and welcome all of you in and remind you that this is what we are all about. This is the symbol of our faith. And to remind you that this is what we have in common, our truth-seeking nature. We come together in an attitude of openness, not knowing quite what will happen, yet daring to receive a new idea, a new experience, sustenance for our minds and our hearts. My mic is all, I don't even know what's happening. Okay, I got it. Thank you. We come with an attitude of praise, expressing our thankfulness for the good that has come into our lives. We come with an attitude of humility, knowing how much we need one another, how alone we can be in the world, how vulnerable if we face life solely by ourselves. We come in the spirit of love, seeking human warmth and fellowship in the hands and hearts of those around us. And we come in the spirit of joy, seeking reconfirmation and renewal of life, of love, and of hope. This morning, we are privileged to officially welcome Mike Graham, Janine Williker, David Senecal, Judy Pig-Barron, Andy Miller, and Pat Tin.
Each of us, through our membership in this community, voluntarily chooses to create greater meaning for ourselves and others. Our church is a place for making real our most creative possibilities, for understanding and being understood, for the celebration of joys and sorrows, for the sharing of gains and losses. We share in a spiritual quest for what is most enduring and most relevant in our lives.
Membership in our church signifies support for our UU principles and purposes and represents an intention to honor the inherent worth and dignity of every person, regardless of race, creed, origin, or life situation. Joining our community is a confirmation for each individual that this place, this space, affords an opportunity to grow together in mutual respect and love. We invite each of you to introduce yourselves to the congregation and to share, for what are you seeking in a spiritual home? Have you found that here? Have you found that here, or how would you like to find it here?
Hello, I'm David Senecal. I come from a Christian background from the earliest days of my life, and I found that the beliefs in which I was raised no longer rang true for me. I wanted to discover my own path, and from other people that I've known in the Unitarian Universalist tradition, I thought that that was the way that I should go, and so that's how I ended up here.
I'm Janine Williker, and okay, there, is that better? Okay, good. I'm Janine Williker, and I've been a Unitarian Universalist since 1964 when I joined People's Church in Kalamazoo. I was a non-traditional student at Western, and I was a Jehovah's Witness. I went to the Baptist church. I went to the Methodist church when I was young. I got an award for selling the most Watchtower and Awakes on the streets of Seattle, Washington when I was 10 years old. So I've really been into a lot of different religions, and having been a member, and I'm still a member of People's Church. I came during the reign of, and I say reign, of Roger Greeley, who was a very dear, dear personal friend and confidant and motivator for me. But I like UUCC, even though we have the name church in it, which I've delved into, and I am not a religious person, and I'm not a spiritual person. I'm a humanist. I believe in humanity. I have no belief in the afterlife. But I believe in my fellow man and woman. So I really like what brought me here with Reverend G. And I love her dissertations. And I went through a couple of ministers that I said, "Oh, I loved your dissertation today." And they looked at me and very sternly said, "I do not give dissertations, I give sermons." So then the next minister at People's, I'd say, "Oh, I loved your sermon today. I do not give sermons, I give dissertations." That's what I love about being a Unitarian Universalist, is being a humanist. I find this is the only place that I can really grow. And being 83 years old, I like to think that I grow every day. So thank you so much for accepting me.
Good morning. I'm Mike Graham. Actually, my father was a Unitarian minister. Even though my parents separated when I was very young, we kept the principles. And the reason I came was with the events of the past several years, including the loss of my wife. I felt an extreme need to gain more socialization with like-minded people, and that is what I have found here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pat Tim. I was raised a Catholic, went to Catholic schools, and belonged to St. Catherine here in Portage. But as a person who has worked with children for 40 years, I found I just couldn't do that anymore. And I was looking for a lot of things like this group. Like Mike, I was kind of looking for a tribe of people who were open-minded and open to new ideas and not afraid of change, and you know, a little bit like-minded people where I could be welcomed, and I've got to say, you folks know how to welcome a newcomer. I was looking for someone who could speak to me the way G does. I so appreciate her sermons and/or dissertations. You give talks. She she opens her mouth and verbiage comes out. I looked for a place to serve, and thanks to Denise Sagne, she's, and that whole team, I see Regina here and others, gave me an opportunity to do that, and I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Judy Pig Barrett, and I've been here for 6 years. So I joined, I don't know, 2 years ago or before COVID. But the reason I stayed here is because I've been a social activist by going and marching and doing things that help the society go farther. So I found that this fit what I liked in life.
My name's Andy, and I didn't expect to speak today, but I actually joined. I came to the first in-person service. It was the last service that we had before the lockdown at COVID. And I had, it was a very emotional time for me. I lost my job, lost my wife, and I needed some community. So I was raised Episcopalian, didn't go to church as soon as I could. When I was 14, I think I said to my mom, I'm not going to church anymore. And I wanted to, I read a lot. I read a lot of history, Henry David Thoreau, Ralph Waldo Emerson. I know they're both white males, but they were both Unitarian Universalists. And I consider there's a lot of smart Unitarians out there, put it that way. Intellectual people who question things for good. We don't believe in dogma. We respect other religions, but we don't believe in dogma, and we believe in humanity. Also, one of my favorite authors that I'm reading right now, again, rediscovering, Kurt Vonnegut, claimed to be a Unitarian, even though he probably never went to a Unitarian service, maybe, but he came the closest to saying that he was a Unitarian. But I like the fact that Unitarians are here to help the world to be better now while we're living, not to go to some faraway place that's just mythical and not real. So that's what I really like. That's what really draws me to Unitarian faith, the fact that we're here to do something, deeds, not creeds. It registers well with me. So thank you.
Thank you all for sharing your personal stories of what brought you here and what sustains you in this community. We trust that you, in your active membership, will share with us your creative thoughts, your vital experiences in life, your questions and doubts, and your discoveries of the many ways in which your life journey affects those people and values which matter most to you. We also trust you will challenge us with your honesty, will stir us with your conscience, and will stimulate our aspirations of what our lives may become in this community and in the larger world.
So, David, Janine, Mike, Pat, Judy, and Andy, will you affirm your joining? So just repeat after me. It's like a marriage. I joined this church. Say it after me. I joined this church as an affirmation of my commitment to support my fellow congregants. I respect the heritage of this congregation and promise to care for its future. I freely and joyfully accept life in this diverse religious family, and pledge to honor every member's perspectives and aspirations. Thank you. Now, now, congregation, will you respond with the words that are up there? So let's read it together. May your life's flame burn brightly so it will be a beacon to others. And may we be reminded that our lives as Unitarian Universalists and as inhabitants of the earth are intertwined and bound together. We are responsible for each other and to each other. We are honored and grateful that you have chosen to be part of this, of our congregation, of this beloved community. Thank you. You may be seated, and the rest of you, you may put out your candles. Oh, yes. Hold on. Does he have a rose? What do you think a rose? And there you go. You have an extra. Today, we are observing, I'll put it here. Today, we are observing another tradition that Unitarian Universalists so dearly love, and that is the flower communion. So we invited you to please bring a flower with you here to the church. And right now, I invite you to please come forward and place your flower in this vase. So just form a nice, lovely procession and come place your flower. And we have a song that we are going to play. Thank you all for contributing your unique, beautiful flower to this common communal vase. And speaking of diversity, yesterday we represented UUCC at Pride. There were so many people there. How many of you were there? Yeah, quite a few of you. Wonderful. There were so many people, probably because the last 2-3 years it's been canceled. And so people were coming out of the woodwork. And it's what it was, diversity. People felt comfortable to come and present themselves exactly, so they allowed the outside to match the inside. And just think about that for a second. If you have never had to think about that, that's a privilege. And if you've ever had to think about that, then you understand what a gift it is when you can be truly authentic, when you can truly show up in the world with maximum integrity, as within, so without. So Pride is a day at least in the lives of many minorities where as within can be as without. And that is a gift. And it was a long road that led to this. And there's going to be some time before every day of the year can be that. Before every day of the year can be safe for all of us to have the inside match the outside and the outside the inside. The other thing that I realized yesterday, and I don't know why I never thought about it, you probably have thought about this many, many times. But I haven't. So for me, it was a revelation as I was sitting there. And I thought, whenever a member of a minority, it could be African American, it could be gay, or any other minority, when they do something that is less than, they represent their race, their sexuality. So when a majority person does something that is less than, it's just them. It just represents them, their choices. Oh, they made a bad choice. It's not all whites are bad. It's not all whites who stick people. It's just that person. But if a black person does it, if a gay person does it, if a transgender person does it, all of a sudden they represent their entire group. So when you get to represent just yourself with your choices, that's privilege. That is privilege. And every time you notice that you are making a blanket statement about a group of people, catch yourself. Catch yourself and expect more of yourself. Raise the ante. And let that also just be about that one person, possibly that one time as well. Because one of our bad choices should not define us for the rest of our lives. Diversity. Diversity shows up in so many ways, in ways that are beautiful and in ways that are insidious. And in the ways that we know to celebrate diversity in its beauty, let there be more of that. And catch the insidious ways. And look at them. Is it true? Should I hold this belief? Should I hold this thought? And if it's insidious, heal it. And if you catch it in anybody else, I hope that you will have the courage, as will I, to call it out. And just say, no, that's insidious. I expect more of you. I expect better of you. I expect you to grow yourself up around this and heal this. Because otherwise, we will always need a Pride Day. We will always need a Black History Month. You understand? The only reason we need it is because there's discrimination, because there's this insidiousness woven into the fabric of our lives. So, today, you've contributed a flower to this communal vase. And you know, each flower is unique. You look at it, the color is different, the scent is different, they look different, even if they are the same species. With these peonies, glorious. All of them are glorious. We have them now in the garden too. They're so beautiful. So they're unique. And their uniqueness reminds us that we are also unique. And a vase that has only the same kind of flowers, it's still a beautiful bouquet. But there's something incredibly wonderful about a vase that has a variety of different types of flowers, right? It just adds to it. And that's our community. Each and every one of us are unique, completely unique. We have our own personalities. We have our own likes and dislikes, belief systems. And if you have listened to our just joining new members, how different their belief systems are, and then if we all who are in here would get a chance to share our own belief systems, and then those of you who are joining us online, if you also right now could share, you'd realize that our community, which is the communal vase, holds tremendous diversity, tremendous variety, and it's needed for our beauty. It's needed for our health, the health of our community. We want this uniqueness. We don't want to shape you into something that fits, that the only way you can come here if you just fit in. We don't want that. We want you to belong truly the way you are. We want you to feel respected and welcomed with all your beliefs, with all your uniqueness, and add that to our beloved community. And then let that feed us and let us go out into the community to represent and say there is a place where you can come as you are, and you're truly accepted and welcomed and loved. That's what this tradition reminds us of, our uniqueness, of our differences, and our tremendous beauty, and how needed we all are, as we are, uniquely, authentically as ourselves. So now, I invite you to come back to this vase and take a flower that you did not bring, a different one. Because when we come in touch with each other, we leave changed. We impact each other. We shape each other a little bit at a time. So us taking a different flower reminds us that we are each a gift to one another. So may we keep it that way, to truly just be a gift, a wonderful, beautiful, life-affirming gift to one another. And those of you who are joining us online and you have your flower, I would like you to just hold your flower and then imbue it with everything that is true about you. And then, today, find an opportunity to give your flower away. Gift someone with this flower that is more than just a flower. It's also been imbued with your special, unique energy. So please, come and take a flower that you did not bring. And we will play some music as we do that. And so the circle is complete. And without you, it's not a circle. It's just not complete. Thank you, Julie. And so we are, all blessed by one another, all enriched, beautified by one another. It is good for us to be together. It is good for us to be able to belong, because we can come uniquely, authentically, as we are. And so it is.